This leads me to my favorite breakout team in the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks. Last season, the Seahawks went 9-8 and lost in the wild card round to the 49ers. But the potential that they showed last season is very encouraging for Seahawks fans. When last season started, there was really no hope in the organization that the Seahawks would have the season that they did. Drew Lock and Geno Smith were battling it out for the week 1 starting job that eventually was won by Geno. Geno Smith absolutely balled out when he got his opportunity last year. He was top 10 in passing yards, 4th in touchdowns, and he had the highest completion percentage in the league, all while being top 10 in QBR. With this high-flying offense, Geno Smith, surrounded by DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Kenneth Walker, combined to be top 10 in scoring in the league. On the other side of the ball was where they really struggled and lost most of their games. Their defense was super poor, but I think they have a lot to be excited about. Let's start with what they did in the draft. They had 2 first-round picks thanks to the Russell Wilson trade. With their 2 first-rounders, they took Devin Witherspoon with the 5th overall pick, corner out of Illinois, who has a ton of upside and who I really like for this defense. With their other pick, they took Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State, who's going to make this offense absolutely nasty. Unfortunately, he just broke a bone in his wrist that'll keep him out a few weeks, but when he's fully healthy, this offense could be top 5 in the league. Geno Smith, who in my opinion is a top 10 quarterback, is now going to be throwing to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Noah Fant. Good luck stopping that passing attack. And then, halfway through the season, Kenneth Walker exploded out of the scene and absolutely balled out when he was the running back. I think the Seahawks have one of the best offensive units in the league, and I think they can compete with any team due to their firepower. On the other side of the ball is where they're going to need to be a lot better. As I mentioned, they picked up Devin Witherspoon with the 5th overall pick, who I think is going to make this secondary nasty. On the other side at corner, they have Tariq Woolen, now known as Reek Woolen, who had a Pro Bowl season last year. Quadri Diggs at safety also had a Pro Bowl season, and now they're getting Jamal Adams back. This secondary, I think, is going to be one of the best units in the league. And the Seahawks did great things in free agency for this defense. They first went and signed Julian Love, who had a breakout season last year for the Giants, recording 124 tackles. That'll add another guy to that secondary rotation. They then signed Bobby Wagner to bring him back to Seattle for his second stint. Then they signed Uchenna Nwosu, and now Jordan Brooks is returning from his ACL injury. I think this defense is significantly improved from last season, and their offense is going to be so much better. Not to mention, the NFC is significantly less competitive than the AFC. Outside of the Eagles and 49ers and maybe the Cowboys, there's a large drop-off between competition in this conference. And the Seahawks have a pretty favorable schedule this year. First of all, the NFC West is nowhere as competitive as it has been in years prior. Outside of playing the 49ers, Bengals, and Eagles, the Seahawks have a pretty easy schedule this year. I have this team winning 11 games this year and making the wild card. I don't think they'll beat the 49ers out for the division, but I think the Seahawks are going to be really good this year. My hot take this year is that the Seahawks will not only make the playoffs, but they will make the NFC Championship game.